Well, Rhode Island is a very small state, so when I heard that there were about 3 or 4 Rhode Islanders over here in the basement of the Rayburn room that they could vote, I rushed right over. That's what it's like in Rhode Island. We chase down every vote, especially because we're so small. But I want to thank the whole Polisi family and just say there's really no substitute for your showing up and for being here today, and all of you who've taken the time and gone out of your way to come down here. It really makes a difference. You know, I'm on the committee that funds research at the NIH, and I often wonder why, you know, there's so many dollars that go into some disease areas and not others, irrespective of the fact that in some cases the burden of illness of some diseases far outweigh others, and that the dollars just aren't there. You know, particularly in the area of mental health, for example. You know, you'll find that there are less than $1 in $5 5 of every $100 goes into brain research for mental illnesses. 5 of every $100 of the NIH goes into mental illnesses, and yet they're the biggest source of disability in this country. You add addictions and all sorts of mental illnesses together. Why? Because no one's up here saying spend money on the National Institutes of Mental Health. Why? Because they just, you know, there's a stigma, and frankly, there isn't a constituency that's organized to come out and knock on the doors and say, it's not right. You know, the NIH is like every other organization here on Capitol Hill and in this country. Everything is subject to politics, and you know, the squeaky voice is really the one that gets the grease, and your being down here and making noise really does make the difference, and that is why it's going to make it easier for us to advance the cause of SMA. We're going to be able to, because of your visits and your continued perseverance, be able to direct the National Institutes for Child Human Development to join the SMA project, and we are going to direct that institute to spend money. We know that you've been instructed that there's no such thing as earmarks in these NIH bills. As you can imagine, it would be a pretty wild thing to see every disease get an earmark. It'd be really a Wild West out there. So they stay away from that. But that does not mean that we don't have the dollars in mind that we know we need in order to get this sizable commitment from NICHD to this project going. And we know what it's going to take, and I can tell you that we are absolutely committed to making sure that when we pass this appropriations bill and we put this language directing the director of NICHD to participate in the SMA project along with NINS, that at the end of the day, that this language is not just flowery language in a report, that it is very concrete, directive, binding language that has the power of law behind it. And there's no and, ifs, or buts in this language. It's very directive in its terms, and it says categorically and without a shadow of a doubt what it is that we intend and what we want from the NICHD in terms of their participation. So we are going to get them to play, even if we have to drag them kicking and screaming to the project. There's no way that we shouldn't be taking every lesson learned and applying it to every future clinical trial. That all be housed and managed and be able to be properly done through a coordinated effort. And this is a proper vehicle to do that, and that's what this legislation is going to allow us to do. We're going to make sure that we continue to work to get providers more information in terms of the public health aspects, and we're going to make sure that we do more in terms of identifying the barriers to bringing drugs to market, so that we do not miss any opportunity to bringing an orphan drug to the market and wasting no opportunity to, if we find a chance somewhere in this world, and somewhere else in the world they have a drug that has some promise, that we waste no time at getting it out and in clinical trials and out there, so that we can see the efficacy and the benefit of those drugs for SMA as quickly as possible. And that will only be done if we have a concentrated effort, and that is what this legislation is going to allow us to do as well, is to bring that concentrated effort together and to be able to house all of that effort and information together in a coordinated policy way. The case to be made for this is great. Frankly, the work that we can do in genetics on SMA, frankly, is work that will benefit, as we all know, every other type of research that is going on in terms of genetic illnesses, and whether it's the diseases of muscular dystrophy, cystic fibrosis, Parkinson's, numerous other diseases. We need to make sure that everybody understands that dollars spent on SMA are dollars spent unlocking the keys to neurological genetic disorders that are going to prove to be open up the doors of opportunity for drugs and discoveries in other areas of medical research. That has been the case for every disease group that has ever been at NIH. We need to have a real discussion in this country about how we're going to reform our insurance system so that we do have community rating, so that we do all say to ourselves, who amongst us is willing to trade the risk of their life to know that there, for the grace of God, goes any one of us, and know that is going to be something that they have to live with. And frankly, I think that we need to have a serious discussion in this country about that. And I want to say to all of you, fighter moms, and the model that you've come up with is going to be so valuable in helping other advocacy groups learn to fight like you have on behalf of these issues, just as you have. So I really appreciate what you've done in terms of the fighter moms. So Martha, you have done such a terrific job, and I know you've had a lot of help, but it really is worth noting, and I want to say we're in it with you very much to the end, and we're gonna prevail, because the spirit is what really brings us together. And I want to close by saying that there is a quote that has been said that while we try to teach our children all about life, our children teach us what life is all about.